Hi, I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of MedinaTV, and I want to welcome you to this year's edition of Candidates Forum.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Rinksmeyer, Executive Director of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce, and we are once again pleased to partner with MedinaTV to bring you this voter education series.
The views expressed by the candidates in these forums are not those of MedinaTV or the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce.
All candidates in contested races were invited to participate. These interviews are meant to be informational without endorsement from MedinaTV or the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. Please enjoy this year's Candidates Forum.
Joining us in studio now is Joe Nichols, one of the candidates for Medina City School Board of Education. Joe, thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me come out.
Yeah, and for starters, for the voters or residents at home that may not know you, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am a Medina County resident, born and bred my whole life. You know, I went to college, played soccer. I was an athlete for 2 years in college, played all through high school. You know, I'm back here now and looking to do some good for the community.
And speaking of doing good for the community, that would be in the role of as a school board member. Kind of explain a little bit about what the role of a school board member is.
So basically the role as a school board member is trying to help dictate policy and kind of support the superintendent on some of the decisions that are like day-to-day functions within or not necessarily day-to-day functions, but just some of the functions within the district itself.
And so looking at the position, what is it that drew you to apply to run for this position?
So since I was probably in high school, I was always interested in education in general, and kind of sat back and thought, you know, even from a local level, we can do a little bit better here. And I was always interested in politics, and come to, you know, 2021, the opportunity arose, and I was like, you know what, I think I can do some real good in the community.
And if elected, what are some of those things you would like to try to accomplish during your time on the school board?
So there's a couple things that I'd be interested in accomplishing. One of them is I would like to see kind of a program, kind of like an internship co-op program, and even I call it my Try Before You Buy program, with like our juniors and seniors. And basically what that is possibly working more with the Career Center and having kids maybe try out like programming, carpentry, and say auto, like diesel tech. And they can go and try those and see if they like those types of careers before they actually get into it. And that doesn't go just for like college students, that goes for trade students or students that are looking to just get right into the to the workforce right after high school. And then the internship and co-op part kind of comes in with working with local businesses, mechanic shops for some of our students that want to be mechanics, and trying to get their foot in the door early. So by the time they graduate, they have a little bit more experience with what they want to go for, and a foot ahead of the competition.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good part of the curriculum. Now, of course, we had something happen called a pandemic within the last year and a half that have kind of taken the focus away from the curriculum. So we'll do a quick question here on that. And one of the big issues with the district has been you know, masking, not masking, how to handle the COVID situation, whether that be in-school teaching, remote learning. Kind of what are your thoughts on everything that's been going on with that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the pandemic. I've heard of it. So my kind of take on that is, you know, no matter what side you're on as far as masks, you want the kids to be in school. That's the best way for our kids to really learn and get the education that we hope they get. So I definitely want to focus on making sure the kids are in school themselves. As far as the masking topic, I myself believe that we should definitely be considering mask mandate. If we look at some of the schools that have had a mask mandate implemented recently, a lot of their COVID numbers end up going down. And then the ones that don't have a mask mandate, their numbers start going up. They reach that percentage that we were talking about, and now they have a mask mandate and they go down, and the other ones that were let off go up. So it's a little bit of a vicious circle there. I think very much like some of our surrounding school districts, we could definitely benefit from a mask mandate, and working with not only our local health department, but Medina Hospital and other local health officials to kind of say, okay, what is the timetable for this, and is it safe to allow, to take away a mask mandate? And one of the other things that we really need to think about when talking about this is kids that tend to be medically complex and either have some sort of decreased immune system, where if they were to catch COVID within our classes, they could have an increase in those complexities with their health. Some kids can't wear a mask, and I think it's critical to make sure that we are doing everything we can to try and help and protect those kids. Because at the end of the day, yes, we're a district, but we're also a community, and we have to look out for each other.
And one of the things you talk about the community, and back to the education side of things, school funding's always been a big issue of how to handle school funding within districts across the state of Ohio, and of course here in Medina. What are your thoughts in terms of just school funding, and as schools like Medina would have to look at bond issues or levies? Kind of your thoughts.
So I actually am on the finance committee, and I have been talking a little bit about the 2018 emergency levy that was a renewal that was initially passed. And I've been really glad to hear that money has actually gone further than we had originally expected. I think Medina's done a great job at trying to make sure that we get the most for our dollar. One of the things that I think could have definitely helped school funding just in general, really on a state level, was the Cup-Patterson funding plan. I think that had a lot of beneficial things that could have really helped our local districts. Unfortunately, it seems like there's bits and pieces that are going to be implemented, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do with the money that you have, and really it's all about making sure the dollar goes further for us.
And now another issue that comes up is redistricting. With everything that goes on in the district, they're now looking at redistricting. So kind of your thoughts as you look at redistricting for the district.
So I think there's a couple things that actually goes in or is tied to the redistricting idea also. First off, just redistricting itself, I think that I've heard that there's a really decent plan that definitely has some good to it, of having 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th in their own buildings to try and help with that redistricting process there. I think that's an interesting idea. And then in addition to that, something that I think kind of adds into it is our infrastructure itself. The infrastructure at some of our schools is really starting to decay, to the point that maybe we need to talk about rebuilding schools or a school rather than just restoring or whatever that might entail. So I think when it comes down to that, it also helps talking about, okay, are we going to take down a school and rebuild it, or would it be more cost effective to the district and to the taxpayers to maybe add on to some of the other schools and move those classrooms from that building into the new additions? And I think that's a question that we have to possibly consider when we're talking about redistricting also, because that would change the district map if we were to take a school out and add it on to other schools within the district.
So we've kind of talked on a couple different topics here, and with those, you might have your stance on each of those topics, but then you also represent the constituents and the voters. Some that may agree with you, and others that may have a different or polarizing viewpoint than yours. How do you handle those kind of people that may differ from your opinion, and how do you work through those confrontations?
I really think that it's good to make sure that you listen to both sides, not necessarily just be like, this is my side, this is right, I don't have time for you. When I have been outdoor knocking and when I was even collecting signatures, I had those types of conversations with people. And I just let them know that, at the end of the day, even if my opinion differs from what's better or what's best for the district, you have to go with what's best for the district. And in some cases, those people raised good points. And we walked away agreeing on their side. Sometimes it was, we're not actually going to reach a total agreement here, but I respect your opinion. Thank you for that information. I'll try and look into it further for them. And I think that's really helped me reach out to some of the voters that we may not agree on everything, but the things that we don't agree on, it's still a civil conversation.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking with Joe Nichols, one of the 6 candidates vying for 3 seats open for the Medina City School Board of Education. And speaking of there's 6 candidates, Joe, what do you think sets you apart from the other 5 candidates?
I think there's a couple things that set me apart. So I have a son that is about to turn 3 in like a week and a half now. So I don't necessarily have a child in the district right now, but I plan on hopefully being part of the board throughout his whole journey. And I get a take from the elementary school to the middle school through high school and graduation and beyond, where some of the candidates that have kids, they might be in high school, but they weren't on the board when their son or daughter ended up in elementary school. So I think that's a different, unique take there too. Also, with me not necessarily having a kid within the district, I think I am able to separate myself, especially currently, and bring some really good new ideas into the district that may help either from a financial level or even help give our kids better opportunities at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Again, speaking with Joe Nichols, a candidate for the Medina City School Board of Education. I want to thank you for answering all of my questions, but I want to give you the opportunity in case there's a question I may have missed or something you just would like to tell the voters. I want to give the microphone to you and let you address them directly. So okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to tell the voters that make sure that you vote. Voting is an amazing right that we're given, that not necessarily everyone has the opportunity to do. So November 2nd, make sure you vote. Early voting starts October 5th. I would never forget that date because it's actually my anniversary. So Leah, if you're watching, hi honey, love you. Yeah, I don't have to be your favorite vote, but I would appreciate it if I'm one of your top 3. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, Joe Nichols for Medina City School Board. And that's, I think that's everything that I have.
All right, well, great. Again, Joe Nichols, one of the candidates for Medina City School Board of Education. And I want to thank you for taking part in the political process and putting your name in the ring, so to speak. As you talk about, it's an amazing process, our political process, and we appreciate you stepping up and being a part of that process. And I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
Yeah, thank you very much.